We'll make that now 6 straight home defeats for Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool, the champions of the Premier League, the reigning champions, but we've kind of accepted that that's not going to be defended this year. Janusz Michallik, I know this one hit you hard as well as a Liverpool lover. A loss at home again, this time to Fulham, the relegation threatened Fulham, albeit they are on a run that we'll talk about in a bit, but given that we know Liverpool's problems at home, we know the changes Jurgen Klopp has to make as well. We know the injuries he's had to contend with, but still, doesn't this kind of feel like a new low for them?
Yes, I can't believe you gave me away like this. But anyway, you have to be also realistic, and you have to be honest when you look at Liverpool. For a long time, we used the injuries as an excuse, right? And rightfully so. I think in some matches, of course, they played a role. But I mean, at some stage, you have to say, I mean, this is not an excuse anymore, right? I mean, this is in a way so surreal for them, because think about some of these players don't even understand or know how to go through an experience like this, because here's Liverpool Football Club going from invincible to very vulnerable, right? I mean, a feeling that they haven't had, because there's nothing in between. To lose like they've been losing, especially at home. You've mentioned 6 straight losses. We're going on about what, 12 hours without scoring at home as well. So it's not just the defensive problems, but it's also the front three as well. No matter who they are, not only are they not scoring goals, but they're also not creating. And if you add this sort of desperation that Fulham showed, and quality, by the way, that sort of desperation that we've seen in the past from Liverpool Football Club, right? If you remember in last season and the season before, even when Liverpool were behind, you always felt, or you almost knew, even as neutral, that there's going to be a way they'll come back. Yep. And now I think it's 6 matches where they've actually fallen behind at home at Anfield, and they haven't gotten back. So there are a lot of worries, and I think Jurgen Klopp in particular has to take responsibility for that, and in particular in this game.
And then just thinking of, let's talk about, I suppose, the changes that Jurgen Klopp has had to make. And we know, obviously, that every team basically has had to deal with injuries. Liverpool probably a bit more than some others. They still are very much in the Champions League, which I think they're going to put all their eggs in that basket right now. But what did you make of all the changes he made today? And are you surprised that even when he brought on the big guns in the second half, they still weren't able to get that breakthrough?
Well, yes, funny that you've mentioned that. I mean, there'll be people saying that, I mean, he was looking towards the game against Leipzig. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think as a manager, you have got to put your team in the best position to win in the present, because the present shapes the future, right? I mean, I look at this game, I look at the back four, and he did not put these players and his team in the best position to win today. I don't imagine that Nico Williams and Reece Williams and Nat Phillips and Robertson have ever played together. Now, somebody may prove me wrong, but I don't know when that would have been, right? So when you already have these problems of instability in the team, that's something that you don't do. And I think we saw that almost immediately that decision wasn't right. I mean, Nico Williams against Ademola Lookman, that wasn't even fair, to be honest with you. Cavallero looked great. Josh Maja looked incredibly well. When you add, the midfield not protecting that because they were outplayed by Bobby Reed there and Lemina, right? I mean, the Liverpool's midfield was just as culpable, I guess, as the back four. So I think this was a mistake by Jurgen Klopp, because look, Leipzig is 3 days away. I get that. They have an advantage there, but you need to gain that momentum. You have to think in the present, saying, what is that going to mean in the future? Because, we can sit here and say, well, when Liverpool get back all their players that are injured, all the stars, next season is going to be different. But how do we know that? How do we know that not qualifying for next year's Champions League is not going to have that mental effect on the team, where we're going to see more of the same with great players coming back? So I think it's a big mistake from Jurgen Klopp not to play the best team, not to start Trent and or Fabinho, or not to react much quicker before it was too late.
All right. Well, I definitely, with a result like this, a lot of people will be focusing on exactly what went wrong for Liverpool instead of what went right for Fulham. I think we definitely have to take a moment to talk about Scott Parker and Fulham right now. I mean, we were ready to give up on them easily just up to last week, Janusz. Now they are level on points with Brighton, only behind on goal difference. But Could Fulham fans be onto something here?
Well, yes, and again, I was the one guilty. I thought that the relegation was done a few weeks or maybe a month ago or 2 months ago, right? I don't think anybody has seen the current bottom three, because Fulham are still there, although they are level with Brighton. We didn't see it coming. I, for one, did not think that Scott Parker maybe had the experience to come out of, the bad start to the season, but he's proven us all wrong, and he's being steady, right? I mean, you think, they're not losing. It's been a while since they lost the game. Then you say to yourself, well, too many draws, but they're taking advantage of other teams dropping points as well, of course. And I think he's kind of rebuilt that team within the season as well. Even somebody like Janusz Michallik right now, look how dangerous he is, how quickly he's come into this team. I've talked about that midfield, which I thought was very strong. Bobby Reed and Lemina, who scored, by the way, a wonderful winner, it has to be said, when he picked Mo Salah's pocket there. But that finish was quality as well. So fair play to Fulham. I know it's easy to talk about Liverpool because they are the champions. And I mean, look at the difference. I mean, my goodness. And it's easy, to talk about Liverpool. But I think we want to give credit to Scott Parker and Fulham. They're still not out of it, but they have some momentum, don't they?
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.